J-Div is back at it here to give everyone another Chicago Bulls related video. In this video, what I want to do is I want to grade the moves that the Chicago Bulls have made this offseason and kind of give some more thoughts about the moves the Bulls have made. Before I get into those details, though, I want to say that if you're a fan of the Chicago Bulls and you like this team, especially the job that Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley have done this offseason, go ahead and smash that like button if you know anybody that would be interested in this video. Make sure you share it. Sound off in the comment section about your thoughts on the Bulls offseason, your favorite sign or trade the Bulls have made this offseason, or any moves that you'd like the Bulls to make. And last, but certainly not least, definitely want to grow this channel, so don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and of course, be a part of something special. And also, I'd like to give props or credit where credit is due to the channels that are the channels on YouTube that are talking about the Chicago Bulls that I listen to on a regular basis. So first off, Bulls Central, awesome channel, love your content, love the interviews that you're doing with people that are connected to the Chicago Bulls. That guy is certainly going to move way up in the industry. Arturas Fan Club, Ross at Arturas Fan Club, he's got some pretty good content, and he's usually quick about getting content out there, which is always a good thing. Some people can't put the content out there until they're done with work. Locked On Bulls Podcast, you guys do a great job. You're entertaining. A lot of ads or too many sponsor plugs, in my opinion, but hey, great content aside from that. And then Inside the Chicago Bulls, he was the first channel I'd listened to. He does a pretty good job. He just had an interview with Casey Johnson, so you got to give him credit for that. Bulls Central has had interviews with a lot of different people. Casey Johnson, the list goes on and on with that guy. So props to all those channels. So at the time of this recording, which I'm actually going to upload this video right away, so there'll be no delays, the Bulls have not traded or taken away their offer for Lauri Markkanen. So at the moment, he is still a member of the Chicago Bulls roster. Let's talk about some of the moves the Bulls have made thus far. So we got to draft Ayo Dosunmu. Awesome draft selection because this player was supposed to be a mid-first round pick. At one point, he may have went in the top 15, and he fell all the way to 38th for our Chicago Bulls. I give this deal an A+, simply because of the draft capital that this guy almost had. He just had a bad March Madness. But other than that, he was a projected top 15 pick in the NBA draft. And I think we got a steal, and he's going to have time to develop with the Chicago Bulls. They, of course, brought over Marko Simonovic. I like Marko. He's good. Maybe it's a little too early, but he wanted to come over. He's good at crashing the boards. He could hit the three. Defensively, he has some work to do, but I think it's a good guy that's going to be cheap. Like Ayo, it's going to be less than $1 million, at least this season, and I think it's going to bode well for the Bulls. I think Marko could have a bigger role with the Bulls if there's an injury, because there's always an injury, it seems, with the Chicago Bulls. So I give this deal a B-. Obviously, it's a high ceiling deal. I think it could be a really high grade, but at the moment, I'm going to stick with B-, but I like him coming over to the Bulls because it was a relatively cheap deal that the Bulls were able to get him on. So, free agency opened up, and we were able, within a minute of free agency, to announce that the Bulls have acquired Lonzo Ball. The trade was, of course, the Bulls sending over Tomas Sadaransky, a sign-and trade for Garrett Temple, and a future second-round pick. And we got Lonzo Ball. Now, initial reports were 4 years, $85 million. To get that full amount, which is like the additional $4 to $5 million, Lonzo Ball has to put up crazy, epic stats. And if he does that, great. He deserves that money. But it's more like a 4-year, $80 million deal for the Bulls. So it's a relatively cheap deal. We didn't have to give up really anything at all for him. Sadaransky was a good player, but he made too much money to be a potential starter on the Bulls. I think he's more of a good 6th man, 7th man type role, if even. And Garrett Temple, while he played good with the Bulls, chances are we weren't going to be able to afford him on the Bulls roster for this upcoming season. So I give this deal an A+. Now, Lonzo Ball, obviously, He's been inconsistent at times, but if he can do what the Bulls need him to do, is facilitate, be a great playmaker, hit a couple open threes if need be, and play great perimeter defense, this deal is going to be a steal for the Bulls. Now, he does have, I believe, a fourth-year player option. He might even have a third-year player option as well. But, hey, given that, we got him for, relatively around $20 million a season. The first year, it's going to be $18,604,651. This is a great deal for the Bulls, and it's an A+ in my opinion. I really do think it's an A+. Alex Caruso. Now, we signed him for like 4 years, and I think it's like $38 million. I don't remember what the exact. It's about $9 million per season, so it's about $36 million. I don't like the amount of money we gave him per season. I think we overpaid. And there's another deal that the Bulls didn't know they were going to have to make when they signed Alex Caruso. So I think that's why they gave him so much. But he does the things that we're going to need on the bench. He plays really good defense. He can score if need be. And he's going to be that guy that the fans, that's not the star player that the fans just go crazy for, such as like a Andres Nocioni or a Brian Scalabrine, even, Daniel Tice at some points during his brief Bulls tenure. So I like the deal for Caruso. I think it's an underrated deal. At the moment, I think we paid just $1 million or $2 million more, but you know what? He's making less than $9 million this season. I think he's going to contribute on the Bulls, especially with Kobe White being injured he might not be back until January, December, who knows? So I think it's a good deal. I'm going to give the move a solid B. Not a B-, not a B+, but just a solid B, with, of course, the ceiling being an A+ for Alex Caruso. So we also made another sign and trade for DeMar DeRozan. We traded Thaddeus Young. Somehow, some way, we were able to have the Spurs acquire or take back in the deal Al-Farouq Aminu, a future first-round pick, and I believe a future second-round pick to get DeMar DeRozan. He's going to make, now, initial reports were like 3 years, $86 million or something, or I'm sorry, 4 years. It's about 4 years, 82 million almost is the deal, and that's about 27.3 million per, or 27.3 per season. So the fit, some people argue about. Obviously, Thaddeus Young being traded in this deal was bad, but here's the situation. So when the Bulls signed Alex Caruso, they didn't know that they were going to trade Thaddeus Young. This deal was supposed to have Lauri Markkanen in it, but Lauri Markkanen wanted $20+ million a season. My friend, you're not worth $20 million a season at the moment. Maybe you might be that player, but at the moment, you're not. The most I myself would give Lauri Markkanen, if I was the vice president of basketball operations or the general manager of the Chicago Bulls or any team, would be 3 years, $39 million, about $13 million per season. That would be the absolute most I would offer Lauri Markkanen. So he was supposed to be in this deal with Al-Farouq Aminu, the second-round pick and the first-round pick, but he priced himself out of the deal, and that's why the Bulls had to trade Thaddeus Young. So I would have preferred that we kept Daniel Tice if that's the case, but hey, we didn't know that Lauri Markkanen was going to think he's Michael Jordan all of a sudden. So with that in mind, I look at this. The offseason, or next year's free agent class, isn't the best. The guys that are good, most likely most of them will sign or re-up during the season, like a James Harden, like a Kyrie Irving. The one guy that I think would be available, which would probably be too expensive for the Bulls, but there were rumors that he wanted to go to Chicago and be with Billy Donovan, would be Bradley Beal. But he's going to want at least $30 million per season. And the Bulls, of course, next season or next offseason, the Bulls do have to give Zach LaVine a supermax contract. So I don't know if Bradley Beal would be an option at that point in time. So we got DeMar DeRozan, who is an all-star. He's been pretty good. He's pretty consistent, scoring at least 20 points a game. His defense is a little shaky, and he doesn't shoot three-pointers, but he shoots a lot of free throws and hits a lot of jumpers that are two-pointers. So I think DeMar DeRozan can add something to the Bulls. and also with Nikola Vucevic, basically make the offensive load not be on Zach LaVine. So I think DeRozan will actually lead the Bulls in scoring, along with Nikola Vucevic, and LaVine can actually concentrate more on being a better defender. Was still, hitting a bunch of open threes and scoring close to 20 points per game, but I think about 20 points per game is going to be LaVine's average, where DeRozan, I think, is going to score about 25 points a game, and Nikola Vucevic will probably get like 22 to 24 points per game. I think that's where I have it. So as far as the trade goes, look, I'm happy we were able to trade Al-Farouq Aminu, because I wasn't thinking that that was going to be a possibility. I thought we'd have to stretch him out and release him, but then you would have to pay him essentially $3 million a season for 3 years. So we were able to include him in the deal. So that kind of lightens our load and makes the DeRozan deal, who's only getting about $27,300,000 per season on average, way better, in my opinion. I'll give the deal a B, with the possibility, obviously, of being an A. Now, DeRozan's game, it's not the best fit at the moment, but I think joining these players, DeRozan hasn't won a lot in the NBA. Zach LaVine hasn't won it all in the NBA. These players are going to gel together and form a really good team that I think could potentially get back to the NBA Finals. I know that's a very big hot take, but I think it's possible. And another thing, the Bulls also signed Tony Bradley. It's a 2-year veteran minimum deal. I think it's a great deal for the Bulls. He's really not had a lot of time in the NBA, and he has some untapped potential. I think he could work his way into a starter role once Nikola Vucevic is a free agent in a couple of years. It's possible. We will see, but I think he's a good defender, and he can do a lot of little things. And one good thing about his game is when he's on the floor, he doesn't commit a lot of fouls. He plays good defense without fouling, and that's a problem a guy like Daniel Gafford had with the Bulls. So I like the deal for Tony Bradley. I'll give that a B+. I think it's a steal for 2 years and paying him the bare minimum. I like it. Now, there's a player I want the Bulls to acquire, or I should say sign. A lot of teams are interested in this player. Obviously, we need to replace Thaddeus Young and Daniel Tice. I would love if the Bulls were able to get Paul Millsap on a 1-year veteran minimum deal. Is it going to be possible? We shall see. He does have the connection with Arturas Karnisovas from his days in Denver, so it's very possible that we're able to do that. Of course, like I'd mentioned, a lot of other teams are interested in him. The Nets, the Lakers. It's going to be hard to get him away from them, but I think he could potentially be at the Bulls. And of course, the other rumor is the Bulls may be able to trade Lauri Markkanen to the Mavericks for Maxi Kleber. That would be good. He's not as good as Millsap in my opinion, but he's got some potential that could be nice. Now, I go back to the Millsap thing. We had Thaddeus Young. If we can get Paul Millsap for the veteran minimum, that'll be less than $2 million-ish per season, where Thaddeus Young was about $14.4 million or something like that. I don't remember exactly. $14 million something. Young is getting old. Now, Millsap is just a tad older. You're paying Young, who could regress a lot, $14 million if we had him still, versus a guy that's been pretty proven, does all the little things. We don't need him to do a lot. We just need him to play good defense, get a block, a steal, score some points per game and some rebounds. And I think that's a lot better than paying $14 million for that type of player. So all in all, it's been an awesome offseason for Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley. I give a lot of the deals a B or an A. The Iodosunu deal, or Dosunu. I try to say it fast and then I mess it up. When I say it slow, I'm good. So I'll just say the Io deal and the Lonzo Ball deal, in my opinion, are definitely A+. The Caruso deal is almost an A, in my opinion. It's possible. The Marco deal is very good. The Tony Bradley deal, I think it's a really steal. It's a very underrated move that the Bulls have made. And the moves that the Bulls made or didn't make. We didn't bring back Cristiano Felicio. We didn't bring back Denzel Valentine. We didn't bring back Ryan Arcidiacono. We also brought back, I forgot to mention, Javonte Green. I think that's a good signing. He's a good wing player. He'll play good defense and he can score. I like it. That's good. Nice to re-sign players that actually are worth re-signing. I still can't believe we re-signed Denzel Valentine last offseason. That was I don't know. So all in all, been a great offseason. And here is also a hot take for you. I had mentioned that the Chicago Bulls are championship material. It's a very biased opinion. A lot of people, a lot of non-Bulls fans don't even think they'll make the play-in game. I think that's the most ridiculous statement ever. The Bulls will be a playoff team. And here's a big hot take. I believe that Patrick Williams, who's now going to be playing the power forward, who's grown, it seems like he's grown a little bit since the season ended and seeing him in Summer League. He's about 6'9" almost now, it seems like. I believe that Patrick Williams will make the All-NBA defensive first team. He was already a great defender. He's going to have to really focus on defense for now and, you know, be an offensive player when need be. Hit an open three here. Drive to the lane when need be. You got Levine, you got Vucevic, and you got DeRozan to do that stuff for you. You got Kobe White coming off the bench. He'll also get help defensively with guys like Troy Brown, Alex Caruso, Tony Bradley. Marco might do something. Ayo Dosunmu might do something. You still have Devon Dotson. If he can do anything, he might be in the G League most of the season. But I think Williams is going to take a big step up in terms of defense. When he was already good defensively, it's going to be even better. So there is my hot take. I want to see what happens when the season is over with. I want you guys to come back to this video. If I was wrong, hey, it happens. But I'm a firm believer in the fact that Patrick Williams will really turn up his game defensively and be an offensive player when need be. I think I've done enough talking now. Obviously, I want to hear from you. Make sure you smash the like button. Share the video with anybody that would be interested. Sound off in that comments section about your thoughts on these deals, your favorite move the Bulls have made, and support the channel, please. I would really appreciate it. And JDev will return.